Hi. So, I'm in the kitchen because lighting sucks. And for the last little while, ever since I did the wrap-up video, I've been just giggling to myself, thinking about my coming out story. It's a doozy one. There's nothing sad. Well, reflectively, there is something sad about it, but it's a comical sad. Well, but okay. There was probably hints and signs ever since I was young. But who would have known? I was in Catholic school from first grade to 8th. And so it was just sort of not a don't ask, don't tell sort of thing. It was just like, don't talk about it, they won't know about it. And it was kind of true. Nobody really talked about it, so I didn't ask really questions. Now I feel kind of stupid because, but it kind of gets respect to what the boyfriend said. If you don't know there's a question to ask, you don't ask it. You don't even think to ask it. So, there's that. Oh, yeah. I'm a science nerd. I keep a periodic table on the wall in my kitchen. If it's distracting, I don't care. Maybe you can pause it, zoom in, check out some of the elements. Plutonium's right there. Number 94. Anyways, back to the coming out story. So, yeah, it was pretty much in high school is when I started kind of noticing it. But, high school, it's weird. Everything's weird. Everyone's weird. Nothing makes sense. In fact, the only thing one thing makes sense. The education makes sense. But, so I had my high school crowd. It was typically made of the Outcasts, the theater group. I don't know. I don't know why I wasn't with the science crowd, but I was with the theater group. We can go into that in a later video about my intellect with the slackerness. We'll think about that one. But, so I was in the theater group, and they were already kind of foo-foo as is. So, things weren't really noticed, talked about. But there was a guy in theater, wasn't in our tweet-knit little group, and they made fun of him because he acted pretty gay. He's currently a pretty active drag queen in the big city community. He also works as a hairstylist, and he gets drunk every night. Anyways, a whole different story. I don't even know if that one's even worthy to tell people. Boring. Anyways, and then they had their friend. So there was the guy that wasn't in the social group. Then there was the guy in the social group, but he went to a different high school. Because he just lived in the wrong part, actually, or mine. So, yeah, there's that. And so they liked the one guy, we'll call him Steve. They liked Steve. He was amazing. He was kind of a little butch, but he was definitely out and he was proud. But then there was, what do we call this one? Bob. We got Steve and Bob. Now, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So you got Steve, which they liked. Absolutely adored. And yet they got Bob. And to me, being of the Asperger's, I think, okay, they act alike. But they like this guy and they don't like that guy. But it seems like they like him for the same reasons they don't like him. This doesn't make any sense to me. So, and, meanwhile, the cocky arrogant of the group, I'm not going to make up a name for him. It's never going to turn out right. Meanwhile, I was kind of on the side doing stuff with him. And that's where my first gay infatuation happened. And like I said in the previous video, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't take any hints that I was supposed to keep things a secret. No one told me directly. No one told me as it was a secret directly. They probably used their body language to hint at it, or realized it was kind of socially taboo at the time, but I didn't know what it was because I didn't know what it was. Why would it be taboo if I'd never heard of it before? Then I started hearing about it, and I hear it was bad. So I'm doing it, but it's bad. Anyways, it started getting confusing and wrapped around and convoluted, and hearts apparently got broken. Hearts did not get broken. I don't know. Like I said, it's high school. It's weird. People over-dramatize things. And I'm a Cancer, so everything's over-dramatized with me. So now that we're past to that point, and we kind of got the idea where things are coming from with how I realized that I had a physical attraction to the same sex. So after high school and all that weird drama that went on, I started working at Toys R Us, and I don't know. There was a lesbian that worked there. She worked back in shipping, and she came up to the front one day, was just talking. She talked to customers and talked to people, and nobody cared. Nobody cared that she was or she wasn't. She just did her damn good job. And, then there's me. And whether I was out, which I wasn't at the time, it didn't matter. They didn't care. Nobody cared. And I realized that the world, by and large, didn't care. I grant you, it is around where I live. But it's like, most people just didn't care. As long as you could do your job, who cares what you do away from work? That's how it should be. But, there are certain people in the bottom right part of our country that tend to, think no matter where you do it, what you do, it's always someone's business. So, don't worry, I'm getting to the ridiculously hilarious part. But in retrospect, this is all hilarious because, I was stupid. It was just like the carrot in front of the donkey, ding, 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 and he's chasing after it. I didn't see the carrot. The carrot was, "You're gay." I didn't see the carrot. I was running after something I didn't even know was there. So I eventually, do a little bit of quiet research on what little internet there was at the time. 56K, dial-up modem, Marathon Line 8.0. I bet half the people who are listening to this video right now don't even remember when the internet was that slow. But it was blazing fast at the time. There was cable, but it was stupid expensive. It's like $150. Now it's like $75. And like everybody has it because it's gotten pretty cheap and whatnot. And yeah. So did some research, found out the Not Bar gay club that was down in the city. And so I realized that, I was 20. I didn't have to really explain to my parents for anything. Still kind of told them where I was just going to hang out with some coworkers at Sherry's. Wasn't true. I obviously lied, but in the long run, it really doesn't matter. Teenagers or whatnot are going to lie, especially if they think they're doing something weird. So I went down to the club. It's like, just got off after work. I'm going to beat feet down there. Found a place to park. Driving my minivan in the middle of Portland. Yeah, I'm okay with driving a minivan. I prefer them. That should have been another sign, but, I was oblivious. I had all the neon signs pointing to the door of come out of the closet, and I was just like, there's got to be something I'm missing. I just wasn't seeing them. And if someone wants to respond of, you know, maybe this is how it works with the Asperger's, and that's probably why I didn't notice it, because it was obvious, or not so obvious. A little off topic. So I go down to the club. Shy me. Oh, so shy. I pretty much just go in, pay the cover charge, and I walk in. And I sit down at the little juice bar, and I get myself a soda. And I look around, and I go sit on another bench after I'm done. And then I go sit on a couch. Then I go sit on the edge of a stage. And then I walk, and then everybody's crowded around the dance floor because they're going to have, like, the little drag queen lip sync thing. Whatever. And I'm walking. I'm just sitting down there watching. Because I'm a face in the crowd. Who cares if I'm in the front or in the back? Nobody knows who I am. I don't know who anybody else is. I used anonymity, like they use on the internet, to my advantage. So I watch one go by, watch another one go by. I'm kind of humming to the songs. By the way, every song that was playing in that club, I knew by heart. In fact, I even was doing little dances in my head, but I wasn't going to dance on the floor because that was just weird. I kind of would now, but it all depends on how queeny the people are out there. A little over dramatic and over the top and make me more shy. So here comes Bob. Here comes Bob. And he comes out. He's fully in drag. I haven't seen this guy in 2 years. Yeah, and nothing had happened. I mean, it was just like high school ended. We went out and did our own things. I never really saw much of anybody except for a little bit of the social crowd. But then everybody started dissipating to the 7 winds of time. And so here's Bob in drag, walking down, and he's doing Pat Benatar's "Hit Me With Your Best Shot." And I recognize him right away. Not that he didn't do a really good job at the makeup, but like I said, the eidetic memory thing, I knew. I didn't know the protocol, so I just walked up while people were handing him dollar bills, and I just walked up and I looked him straight in the eye, and I gave him $1 because everybody else was getting $1. I didn't want to look weird. I had lots of money to blow at the time. And then the show was over, and everyone dissipated around and started going outside to smoke and sitting around on the dance floor, and I waited for Bob outside the dressing room. And back in high school, we were doing monologues, and I butchered his monologue, and self-reflection monologue thing, and I did a lot of green thinking in high school, so I just absolutely spaced it. And afterwards, I felt bad. I had felt bad. I still do. But, you know, I apologized 2 years after the fact. Bob had completely forgotten about it. Could have been that little flippant ADD thing the really out there gay guys tend to have. They just tend to forget things on a week basis. I mean, there's a memory, and then they just don't have a clue. They're disconnected. It's probably because they're on a cocktail of drugs or something. Don't like that. Anyways, so I apologize to him. I have to remind him of the whole thing, and then he hugs me. I get glitter on me, but I didn't care. A lot of my friends are like, "Oh, it's the craft herpes." It's just glitter. Get over yourselves. I play along with it, but I'm getting really tired of playing along with it. But anyways, so pop. So yeah, I realize that there's more to gay society than just, you know, what goes on behind the bedroom door. And that works. So I kind of do that. That was the self-realization. That's when I kind of said it to myself, yeah, I'm gay. I get it. So then has to come the public one. This is hilarious. So I walk out of my room and I tell my sister. I don't know why I didn't tell my parents first, but there's the thought process. You tell your sibling because they're kind of at the same thing, and I'm just not sure how the parents are going to react. I was not thinking logically. I'll tell you why I should have went to my parents first. But so I told my sister. I said, "Could you please leak it to Mom really slowly?" And she's like, "What? Okay, yeah, sure." I think she was on the phone with her, at the time, soon-to-be, or future husband. And so, yeah. So she just kind of walks upstairs. She gets her ice that she chewed on. And she kind of casually tells Mom and Dad while they're on the phone. I walk upstairs, and my dad looks out from the kitchen, dining room, nook area. And he's like, "So we heard what your sister said." "Yeah." And I mean, I was just bracing myself for any sort of onslaught because it had to be done. And Mom's like, "Yeah, we heard what your sister said." I'm like, "Uh-oh." Thinking in my head, "Uh-oh." And then my dad, big old guy, worked manual labor pretty much his whole life, just does not like to take any shit from anyone. And he was just like, "About time." Mom's like, "Yeah, we'd known for a while. We were just waiting for it to dawn on you." "Well, we told you, and you didn't listen. We gave you the pamphlets and stuff." And I was just like, oh. Now, here's the thing. I should have gone, should have went to Mom first, because I didn't have something that clicked. It's like I had knowledge A, knowledge B. Knowledge A was the fact that who my mom sponsored in AA was a lesbian, and I've known this. She told me about it, and she explained it to me, and this was while we lived in the old house. I was like 12, 10 even. I had this all explained to me, not in the gory details. No, but she explained what it was, and I didn't care, and I obviously didn't care so much that I just forgot. But then it dawned on me, I was like, wait, Mom sponsored a lady and was a lesbian, and she still talks to her to this day. Even now, she still talks to her. And I just didn't put things together. And the minute Mom and Dad were like, "About time," it just was like, so I was the last person to know. That's nice. Pretty nice when the last person to know that you're gay is you. Just hilarious. In real life conversation, I shorten it a little bit. Pretty much just do the end part, because most people don't care to hear a nice 20-minute story. But online, it's necessary for having a long video, because it gets kind of the idea across, and anybody who's willing to have or willing to listen to a coming out video of all things, they're pretty much going to sit through the whole thing. I think, I hope, I've sat through the ones, listening to kind of get an idea of what people talk about. So there's that. Yeah, it's pretty much the end of that. Once everything came out, when I ran across people from high school, I told them, and they were like, duh. It was like, okay, so everyone in high school knew. My parents knew. Apparently my sister knew, but she didn't tell me at the time because she was on her phone. So, yeah, everyone knew but me. I swear the dogs knew. The little tiny 5-pound Chihuahua probably knew I was gay before I did. And she had no kneecaps. The cat that was on its 10th life probably knew. That crotchety old cat. Oh my God, she was angry. That's another video. I'm going to make a video sometime about talking about my pets and their personality, because it's adorable, especially the current one. man, yeah. So, there's the coming out video.